Time is an interesting thing. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can certainly feel its effects. Have you ever noticed how quickly time flies when you're enjoying yourself and how it drags when you're stuck doing something tedious? We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Every single person, from the richest to the poorest, from the busiest to the laziest, has the same amount of time each day. But why is it that some people seem to achieve so much more with their time than others? The answer lies in how we understand and value our time. Time, unlike money, cannot be saved up for a rainy day. You can earn more money, but you can't earn more time. Once a minute, an hour, or a day is gone, it's gone forever. So the question is, how much is your time worth to you? What are you willing to invest your precious time into? You see, the key to mastering time starts with recognizing its true value. Imagine your time is a bank account. Every morning you get 24 hours deposited into your account. You can't carry any balance over to the next. You have to spend it all, whether you like it or not. The trick is to spend it wisely. Now, let me ask you something. How do you spend your time? Do you invest it in activities that bring value to your life, or do you let it slip away on things that don't matter? Think about it. Are you spending your time on things that build your future, or are you wasting it on distractions that lead nowhere? These are tough questions, but they're essential for understanding how to make the most out of every moment. When we start to see time as our most valuable asset, everything changes. Our priorities shift, our focus sharpens, and we begin to live with intention. Mastering time isn't about cramming more activities into our already busy schedules. It's about making conscious choices about what we do with our time. It's about asking ourselves, is this the best use of my time right now? The significance of mastering time can't be overstated. Time management is life management. If you manage your time well, you manage your life well, it all begins with a decision to take control. It starts with the realization that every second counts and that it's up to you to make those seconds meaningful. So as we move forward today, I want you to keep that in mind. Your time is your life. And the way you spend your time is the way you spend your life. Let's learn how to master this precious resource so that we can live richer, fuller, and more impactful lives. Now let's dive into some practical ways to make that happen. Now that we've established just how valuable time is, let's talk about the fundamentals of managing it effectively. Managing your time well is about more than just keeping busy. It's about making sure that what you're busy with actually matters. One of the first principles of time management is prioritization. Have you ever found yourself swamped with tasks, but at the end of the day, you feel like you haven't accomplished anything meaningful? That's because not all tasks are created equal. Some things are urgent but not important, while others are important but not urgent. Understanding the difference between these can change your life. Think about your daily to-do list. Do you start with the easiest task just to get them out of the way? Many of us do. But what if instead you started with the most important tasks, the ones that will bring you closer to your goals? This is what we call eating the frog. If you start your day by tackling the most challenging, most important task first, everything else will seem easier by comparison, and you'll have accomplished something significant right from the get-go. Another key principle is the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle. This principle suggests that 80 of your results come from 20 of your efforts. It's about finding those activities that yield the highest return on your time and focusing on them. For instance, in sales, you might find that a small percentage of your clients bring in the majority of your revenue. So it makes sense to invest more time in those high-value clients. Let's talk about the concept of time is more valuable than money. We touched on this earlier, but it bears repeating. You can always earn more money, but you can never earn more time. Imagine you had a bank account that credits you with $86,400 each morning. Every night, the balance is wiped clean, regardless of how much you've spent. You probably make sure to use every dollar, wouldn't you? Well, you have 86,400 seconds every day. Are you making the most of them? How often do you find yourself falling into the trap of poor time management? Maybe you decide to check social media for a minute, and before you know it, an hour has passed, or perhaps you spend too much time on low-priority tasks, leaving the important ones unfinished. These are common pitfalls that many of us encounter. A friend of mine once told me about his struggle with time management. He'd start his day with good intentions, but by the time he got through checking emails, responding to messages, and dealing with minor issues, half the day was gone. Sound familiar? What he didn't realize was that he was letting other people's priorities dictate his day. He was reactive instead of proactive. So how do you avoid these pitfalls? Start by planning your day the night before. Take a few minutes to write down the most important tasks you need to accomplish the next day. Prioritize them and commit to starting with the most important. When you wake up, you won't waste time deciding what to do. You'll already have a plan. Another practical tip is to set specific time blocks for different activities. Instead of letting tasks spill over into each other, create boundaries. For example, set a specific time for checking emails and stick to it. Use a timer if you need to. This helps prevent tasks from taking longer than necessary and keeps you focused. It's also crucial to learn to say no. This might be the hardest principle for some of us. We want to please others, we want to help, but saying yes to everything means spreading yourself too thin. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Make sure your yesies are aligned with your priorities. Finally, remember to take breaks. It might seem counterintuitive, but taking regular breaks actually improves productivity. It helps you stay fresh and focused. The Pomodoro Technique, which involves working for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break, can be very effective. Mastering the fundamentals of time management is about being intentional with your time. Prioritize your tasks. Focus on high-value activities. Plan your day, set boundaries, and take breaks. These simple yet powerful principles can help you make the most of every precious second. Time is the most valuable asset you have. Treat it with the respect it deserves, and you'll find that you're not just getting more done, but you're getting the right things done. And that's what makes all the difference. Let's dive into the art of prioritizing your time. One of the most powerful concepts I've come across in my journey is the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. This principle suggests that 80 of your results come from just 20 of your efforts. Think about that for a moment. Imagine if you could identify and focus on that critical 20. How much more effective would you be? Let's break it down with a simple example. Suppose you're in sales. Out of all your clients, a small handful are likely responsible for the bulk of your revenue. If you focus more on these high-value clients, nurturing those relationships and providing them with exceptional service, you'll see a significant increase in your overall result. This doesn't just apply to business. It can be anything from personal relationships to health and fitness. Now, identifying high-value tasks versus low-value tasks is the next step. High-value tasks are those that directly contribute to your goals and objectives. These are the tasks that move the needle. But on the other hand, low-value tasks are those that keep you busy, but don't significantly impact your progress. Answering emails, attending unproductive meetings, and getting caught up in minor details can often fall into this category. How do you identify these tasks? Start by asking yourself, what activities have the highest impact on my goals? It could be making strategic decisions, working on a key project, or spending quality time with your family. Once you've identified these tasks, you need to prioritize them over everything else. Here's a strategy for prioritizing effectively. Make a list of everything you need to do. Then go through and rank each item by its importance and urgency. A great way to do this is by using the Eisenhower matrix. There's a bios into 4 categories: urgent, important, but not urgent, but not important, and neither urgent nor important. Focus your time on the important tasks, both urgent and non-urgent, and you'll see a drastic improvement in your productivity. Another powerful strategy is to use time blocking. This involves scheduling specific blocks of time for different types of activities. For example, you might set aside the first hour of your day for strategic planning, the next 2 hours for working on your most important project, and a later block for handling emails and administrative tasks. This helps ensure that you're spending your time on the right activities and not getting sidetracked. Now, let's talk about creating a daily routine. A structured daily routine is one of the most effective ways to manage your time and stay productive. It sets the tone for your day and helps you stay focused and organized. But how do you create a routine that works for you? First, think about your most productive times of the day. Are you a morning person, or do you find that you're more alert and creative in the afternoon? Align your most important task with these peak productivity times. For instance, if you're sharpest in the morning, use that time for deep work. Tasks that require concentration and creativity. Save less demanding activities for when your energy naturally dips. Let me share an example of a productive routine. A friend of mine starts his day at 5 a.m. He spends the first hour exercising, which energizes him and gets his blood flowing. Then he spends 30 minutes reading or listening to something inspirational or educational. By 6:30, he's ready to tackle his most important task of the day. He works on this task for a solid 2 hours before taking a short break. Throughout the day, he continues to use time blocks to stay on track and ensures he takes regular breaks to maintain his energy levels. But here's the key. Routines aren't one size fits all. You need to adapt your routine to fit your individual needs and lifestyle. Maybe you have young children, a demanding job, or other commitments. Your routine needs to reflect your unique circumstances. The important thing is to create a structure that allows you to consistently work on your high-value tasks. Remember, flexibility is crucial. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes your routine will need to change. That's okay. The goal is to have a framework that guides you, not a rigid schedule that adds stress. Adjust your routine as needed, but keep your priorities in focus. So how do you start? Begin by identifying your most important tasks and then design your day around them. Set specific times for these tasks and stick to them as much as possible. Track your progress and make adjustments as needed. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. Developing a new routine takes time and effort, but the rewards are well worth it. Prioritizing your time and creating a structured daily routine are powerful steps toward mastering this precious resource. By focusing on high-value tasks, using effective strategies, and designing a routine that fits your life, you'll find yourself achieving more and feeling more in control. Remember, the way you spend your time is the way you spend your life. Make it count, and you'll see extraordinary results. Now, let's tackle a common enemy we all face at one time or another: procrastination. We've all been there. You know you need to get something done, but instead you find yourself watching TV, scrolling through social media, or doing anything but the task. Why do we do this? What makes us put off what we know needs to be done? One common cause of procrastination is fear. And sometimes we fear failure. What if I don't do it right? What if I fail? But here's the truth. Not taking action guarantees failure. You miss 100 of the shots you don't take. On the other hand, fear of success can also paralyze us. It sounds strange, but sometimes we're afraid of the changes success might bring. We fear the unknown. Both of these fears can lead us to delay starting on our important tasks. Another cause is perfectionism. We want everything to be perfect before we start, but the pursuit of perfection can be paralyzing. It's better to get started and make progress than to wait for the perfect moment that may never come. Perfectionism often hides a fear of making mistakes. Remember, mistakes are part of the learning process. You can always refine and improve as you go. Now, let's talk about some practical tips to combat procrastination. The first tip is to break your task into smaller, more manageable chunks. Sometimes a task seems so big and overwhelming that we don't even know where to start. By breaking it down into smaller steps, it becomes more manageable. Each small step you complete builds momentum and brings you closer to your goal. Another tip is to set clear deadlines. Deadlines create a sense of urgency and help you stay focused. If a task doesn't have a natural deadline, set one for yourself. Write it down and hold yourself accountable. Create mini deadlines within the larger deadline. This keeps you on track and prevents the last-minute rush. Let me share a personal story. When I first started out in my career, I struggled with procrastination. I remember a time when I had a big presentation to prepare for. Instead of starting on it right away, I kept putting it off. I told myself I worked better under pressure, but the truth was I was scared. Scared of not being good enough. Scared of failing. Finally, the night before the presentation, I stayed up all night trying to put it together. It was stressful, and the presentation wasn't my best work. That experience taught me a valuable lesson. Procrastination only adds stress and reduces the quality of our work. From that point on, I started using a simple method to overcome procrastination. I called it the 2-minute rule. If a task will take 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. For longer tasks, I committed to working on them for just 2 minutes. Often, starting is the hardest part. Once I got going, I usually found it much easier to continue. Another powerful technique is visualization. Picture yourself completing the task. Imagine the sense of accomplishment you'll feel. Visualize the positive outcomes and how it will impact your life. This creates a mental shift from dread to motivation. Accountability is also key. Share your goals and deadlines with someone who will hold you accountable. This could be a friend, family member, or colleague. Knowing that someone else is watching your progress can be a powerful motivator. And don't forget to celebrate your successes, no matter how small. Reward yourself for making progress. This reinforces positive behavior and keeps you motivated. I recall another story of a colleague who struggled with procrastination. She always had great ideas, but never seemed to follow through. I suggested she use a technique called time blocking, which we discussed earlier. She started scheduling specific times for her tasks and sticking to those blocks. Slowly but surely, she began to see progress. Her productivity increased, and she felt more in control of her time. It wasn't an overnight change, but with consistent effort, she overcame her habit of procrastination. Overcoming procrastination starts with understanding why we procrastinate. Whether it's fear, perfectionism, or feeling overwhelmed, recognizing the cause is the first step. Then apply practical strategies like breaking tasks into smaller steps, setting clear deadlines, using the 2-minute rule, visualizing success, and holding yourself accountable. Remember, procrastination is a habit, and like any habit, it can be changed. Let's talk about something crucial for success and fulfillment: investing time in personal growth. The journey of continuous learning and self-improvement is not just a choice. It's a necessity. You see, in this rapidly changing world, the moment we stop learning, we start falling behind. Imagine the difference it can make in your life if you commit to constant growth. What skills could you master? What new heights could you reach? Continuous learning opens doors to opportunities you never knew existed. It keeps your mind sharp and your spirit alive. But here's the challenge. How do we balance work and personal development? We often get so caught up in our day-to-day responsibilities that we forget to invest in ourselves. But the truth is, investing in yourself is the best investment you can make. It pays dividends, not just in your career, but in your overall happiness and fulfillment. So let me share a story of a friend who mastered this balance. He was an incredibly busy executive, always on the go. Yet he never missed his daily reading time. Every morning, without fail, he would spend an hour reading books on leadership, personal development, and industry trends. People would ask him, "How do you find the time?" His response was simple: "I don't find the time, I make the time." By prioritizing his personal growth, he continually stayed ahead in his field and inspired those around him. The key is to see personal development not as an additional task, but as an integral part of your life. It's about making small, consistent efforts. You don't need to overhaul your entire schedule. Start with just 15 minutes a day. Read a book, take an online course, or listen to a podcast. Those small increments of learning add up over time, leading to significant growth. Another individual who comes to mind is a young entrepreneur who balanced building her business with personal growth. She scheduled time each week to attend workshops, network with mentors, and reflect on her goals. By doing so, she didn't just grow her business. She grew as a leader. Her commitment to self-improvement became a source of inspiration for her team, driving the company to new heights. Let's shift gears and talk about the power of focus and eliminating distractions. Staying focused in our fast-paced world is no easy feat. We're constantly bombarded with emails, messages, and notifications. But maintaining focus is essential for productivity and achieving our goals. So how do we stay focused? One effective technique is to set specific goals for each day. Start your day by writing down the top 3 things you need to accomplish. These should be your highest priorities, the tasks that will have the most significant impact. By focusing on these, you ensure that your day is productive, even if you get sidetracked by other demands. Another technique is the Pomodoro Technique. This involves working for 25 minutes, then taking a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles, take a longer break. This method helps maintain focus while preventing burnout. It's a simple yet powerful way to keep your mind sharp and productive throughout the day. Distractions, however, can be a significant barrier to maintaining focus. Think about how many times you've been working on something important only to be interrupted by a notification on your phone. These distractions add up and can severely impact your productivity. So how do we minimize or eliminate them? One method is to create a dedicated workspace. Whether it's an office or a corner in your home, having a space where you work and nothing else can help you stay focused. This space should be free from distractions. So turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and let others know that you're not to be disturbed during your working hours. Let me share a story of a colleague who struggled with distractions. He was a talented writer, but he found it hard to stay focused with all the interruptions. So he decided to set boundaries. He would write early in the morning before the rest of the world woke up. He turned off his phone and worked in a quiet room with no internet. The result, he became incredibly productive, finishing projects faster and with higher quality. Another method to minimize distractions is to schedule specific times for checking emails and social media. Instead of constantly interrupting your workflow, dedicate certain times of the day for these activities. This helps you stay focused during your productive hours while still staying connected. Investing time in personal growth and maintaining focus are essential elements of success. By committing to continuous learning and setting clear boundaries to eliminate distractions, you can achieve more and lead a more fulfilling life. Remember, it's not about finding the time, but making the time. Prioritize your growth, focus on what truly matters, and you'll see remarkable changes in your life. Let's make today the day we take control of our time and our future. Let's talk about one of those crucial aspects of mastering time. Reflection and adjustment. You see, it's not enough to just set goals and create routines. We need to periodically step back and reflect on how we're actually spending our time. Are we making the most of it? Are we sticking to our plans, or are we getting sidetracked? Reflecting on your time starts with an honest assessment. Take a few minutes at the end of each day or week to review what you've accomplished. Ask yourself, did I focus on my highest priorities? Where did I waste time? What can I do better? This simple practice of self-reflection can yield powerful insights into your habits and help you identify areas for improvement. Once you've reflected on your time, the next step is to adjust your plans and routines for better efficiency. Flexibility is key here. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to change it. Maybe you need to shift your high priority tasks to a different time of day when you're more alert, or perhaps you need to delegate some tasks to free up your schedule. One strategy is to use the stop, start, continue method. Look at your current routine and ask, what should I stop doing because it's not adding value? What should I start doing to improve my productivity? And what should I continue doing because it's working well? This simple framework can help you make incremental adjustments that lead to significant improvements over time. Encouragement is crucial in this process. Remember, we're all a work in progress. Continuous improvement in time management isn't about making drastic changes overnight. It's about making small, consistent adjustments. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and use setbacks as learning opportunities. Every step you take towards better time management is a step towards a more fulfilled and productive life. Think about a craftsman honing his skills. He doesn't become a master overnight. It takes years of practice, reflection, and adjustment. The same goes for managing your time. You refine your approach, learn from your experiences, and continually strive to get better. Let's commit to this process. Let's make a pledge to ourselves to reflect on how we use our time, make necessary adjustments, and never stop improving. Time is our most precious resource, and managing it well is a lifelong journey. With reflection, adjustment, and a commitment to continuous improvement, we can make the most of every moment and achieve the success we desire. I encourage you to take these insights and apply them to your life. Reflect on your time, adjust your plans, and keep striving to improve. Your future self will thank you for it. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Keep moving forward, and you'll find yourself accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. Thank you. You see, mastering time is not just about being more productive. It's about creating a life that is fulfilling and meaningful. It's about being able to look back and say, I used my time well. I made a difference. Imagine what you can achieve if you commit to mastering your time. Picture the goals you can reach, the dreams you can fulfill, and the impact you can make. Here's my call to action for you. Embrace the gift of time. Start today. Make a commitment to manage your time wisely. Set clear goals. Prioritize your tasks. And take time to reflect and invest in your personal growth and eliminate distractions. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Every small step you take brings you closer to mastering your time. Think about the legacy you want to leave. Think about the life you want to create. It all starts with how you manage your time. Don't let another day go by without taking action. Your future self will thank you for the decisions you make today.